Hi everyone, I'm Anya and I'm bringing you a restorative practice today. I'm going to be showing you 3 restorative yoga postures that you can do in the comfort of your own home using everyday items that you have in your house. So you can either practice these 3 poses individually if you're short on time. Each of them will take between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on how much time you have, really. Or you can practice the 3 all together in this sequence that I'm about to show you. And if you're doing that, the practice will probably take between 45 minutes to an hour. Once again, you're in charge of how long you stay in the postures. There is a recommended minimum time, but beyond that, you're welcome to stay a little bit longer if you do have that time. So restorative yoga is a great antidote to stress and to busyness. And I guess the goal, if you like, of restorative yoga is to shift our nervous systems from a state of fight-flight, which we are often in when we are busy, when we're stressed, when we're constantly on the go, into the parasympathetic nervous system, or a state of rest and digest. And in this state, our body goes into healing mode. So it promotes functions in the body such as digestion, immune system function, growth, repair, elimination, reproduction. For this practice, I recommend having a timer on hand so that you don't have to worry about how long you are in the position. However, if you're going to be using your mobile phone, it's a good idea to put it onto airplane mode so that you're not disturbed. You can also play some relaxing background music if you like. So for the practice today, you will need an eye pillow or something to cover your eyes with. You could just use a small hand towel as well if you don't have an eye pillow. A small cushion, or alternatively just a regular bath towel. So we're going to use that to support our head. So if you are using a cushion, make sure it is small and not too big. We don't really want like a big pillow under our head. You will also need an extra couple of cushions that maybe you can find on your lounge, or if you don't have those, you could use pillows from your bed as well. So the first position that we're going to do is a restorative Supta Baddha Konasana. So you need a support for your head. I'll be using this small cushion, an eye pillow, and the 2 extra cushions that you have, or pillows. We're going to be lying on our back. You can be lying on a yoga mat or just on carpet. Make sure whatever you're lying on, you're going to be comfortable. And I recommend also having something to cover yourself. So staying warm in restorative yoga is important in order to help our bodies to relax and be comfortable. So, and maybe some socks as well if it's cool. Bringing the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. And we're going to use the pillows to support the legs. I You can play around with the cushions however you like. I've just kind of squashed them in half and placed them underneath the legs. So it supports my thigh and my shin and the knee, of course. Now in restorative yoga, the idea is to be comfortable. It's not to really stretch the body. It's more about a gentle opening. And then simply laying yourself down, bringing that support under your head. I forgot to mention, if you are going to be using a towel, just a bath towel, the way to set it up for under your head is just to fold it in half. And then in half again, and then over like this. So you fold it almost all the way down to the end. Now you're going to have your head on this part and the very top of your shoulders on this part. Get my pillows in place again. Now, of course, if you did have yoga props, like a bolster, you could use that under the legs instead. And as you can see, the towel is just really supporting the natural curves of my neck. Got my eye pillow. And I suggest covering yourself, even if it is warm. And then placing your timer for anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. And then just allowing yourself to be here in this space of quiet and stillness, allowing yourself to be rather than doing. You could practice any sort of calming breathing practice, pranayama, if that helped you to stay here. Or just taking a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Could take a few rounds of that. So you can pause the video now and stay here until your timer goes off, and then play the video again to see the rest of the postures. And to come out of this position, we simply bring the knees back up slowly. You can allow them to fall in towards one another and just rest there for a moment. And then turn to one side, rest there. And slowly come back up. So the next restorative pose is a gentle back bend. So you will need 2 bath towels or beach towels. Basically folding them together. So put one on top of the other. You're going to bring the short ends together. And then folding it again in half. So you end up with a shape that resembles this. We're going to be laying over this, and basically, ideally you want the width of the towels to be so that they support from the top of your pelvis up to the bottom of your shoulder blades, which is just sort of just below the armpit area. Alternatively, if you did have a yoga blanket on hand, having it in this sort of shape, similar to the towels, but it's not going to be exact, would also work really well. If you've got a sensitive lower back and this is too much of a back bend for you, you can simply open the towels up and lay over it this way, and the pelvis will be on the towel. And you're just getting a really gentle opening into the upper body. Bottom of the shoulder blades aligned with the top of that towel. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. So set your timer for about 10 minutes. You can stay for a little bit less if it starts to get uncomfortable, so maybe 7 minutes. I wouldn't recommend staying too much longer than 10 minutes. And you'll just need an eye pillow and something to cover yourself as well. So my pelvis is on the floor, not on the blanket, unless you're doing the gentler option. Laying myself over it and positioning the top of that blanket so around just below the armpits. With the arms, you can either have them just out to the sides, or you could have the arms overhead with the elbows gently bent. You do also have the option just to have just a really thin towel to support the wrists if the arms are overhead. With the legs, have the knees bent, feet wide, and knees falling in. So this is a really gentle opening for the upper body, and for the chest, the heart, the thoracic. So staying here for somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes. Now to come out of this position, you're going to lower your arms down first. Take your bring your feet back to hip width apart, and then you're going to slide yourself back until just the hips are on the blanket, and you could also just lift the hips up and move the blanket down. And stay here for a few breaths. And then you can bring the feet wide again and then take some windshield wipers with the knees. And then roll to one side. Stay there for a few breaths and then slowly come up. And just take a moment to sit there and notice what you feel. So the last pose in this series is legs on a chair or on a couch or on a bed, edge of a bed, whatever you have available to you. So you will need a chair or a lounge or any of those things I just mentioned. I've got a yoga chair, but any old chair will do. The important thing is the height of the chair. So when you lay down and put your legs up on it, you'll make sure that the legs are resting really comfortably on the chair or the lounge or the bed. And I like to have my knees right up against the edge of the chair. If you're a little bit shorter and you feel like your legs don't quite reach the chair comfortably, you could place extra height under your hips, a couple of folded blankets, or maybe a pillow from your bed. So the other thing that you will need for this practice is a support for your head, so either a small pillow or a folded towel, eye pillow to cover your eyes, something to cover yourself with, a blanket, a nice comfy blanket. And I would recommend staying here for anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. So you could set your timer now. The arms, just have them alongside the body, slightly away from your body, palms facing up. If you do have a hard chair like I do, I would probably put some padding under there as well, with a blanket or a towel. So to come out of this, we just bring the knees down towards the chest and stay here for a few breaths. And then roll to one side. Stay there for a few breaths. And then slowly come up. So that is the 3 restorative yoga postures, which you can either do individually if you are short on time, or maybe 2 of them or 3 of them. I hope you enjoy. Namaste.